It was a warm Friday evening when my husband, Mark, and I settled into our favorite spot on the couch, the soft glow of the lamp casting a cozy light around us. We had just finished dinner, and the remnants of laughter from our earlier conversation still lingered in the air. As we sipped our wine, I noticed a glint of mischief in his eyes, a spark that hinted at something more than just casual banter. "Can I ask you something?" he said, his tone shifting slightly, becoming more serious. "Of course," I replied, intrigued. "What would you think about exploring new experiences?" He hesitated, gauging my reaction. "Like, with another couple?" I blinked, taken aback. The idea hung in the air between us, heavy and charged. "You mean, like an open relationship?" I asked, trying to process what he was suggesting. Mark nodded, his expression earnest. "I know it sounds unconventional, but I've been thinking about it. I trust you completely, and I think it could be exciting for both of us." My heart raced as I considered his words. The thought of being with another couple was both thrilling and terrifying. I had always believed in the sanctity of our marriage, but the idea of exploring uncharted waters with Mark by my side was undeniably enticing. "What if it changes everything?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Or it could bring us closer," he countered, his eyes locked onto mine. "We'd set boundaries, communicate openly, and make sure we're both comfortable every step of the way." I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the decision before me. "Who do you have in mind?" I asked, curiosity piquing my interest. "There's this couple we met at the party last month, Sarah and Tom. They seemed fun, and I got the impression they might be open to something like this," he explained. As the evening wore on, we discussed the idea in detail, weighing the pros and cons. The more we talked, the more I found myself drawn to the possibility, the thrill of adventure, the chance to explore our desires together. It was intoxicating. After a few days of contemplation, I decided to take the plunge. Mark and I reached out to Sarah and Tom, and to our surprise, they were intrigued by the idea. We agreed to meet for drinks to discuss everything further, setting the stage for what could be a life-changing experience. The night of our meeting arrived, and I felt a mix of excitement and nerves as we gathered at a trendy bar. Sarah and Tom were charming and easy to talk to, and the chemistry between us was palpable. As the drinks flowed and laughter filled the air, the initial tension began to dissolve. Eventually, we found ourselves discussing boundaries and desires, and I was amazed at how open and honest everyone was. It felt liberating to share our thoughts and fantasies without judgment. As the night progressed, I could see the spark in Mark's eyes, and it ignited something within me as well. By the end of the evening, we had agreed to take the next step. We planned a weekend getaway together, a chance to explore this new dynamic in a more intimate setting. As we left the bar, I felt a rush of exhilaration mixed with a hint of apprehension. This was uncharted territory, but I was ready to navigate it with Mark by my side. The weekend arrived, and we found ourselves in a beautiful cabin nestled in the woods. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as we settled in, the four of us sharing drinks and laughter around a cozy fire. As the flames danced, the lines between friendship and something more began to blur. With every shared glance and lingering touch, I felt the excitement building. Mark and I exchanged knowing looks, silently communicating our shared desire to explore this new chapter together. As the fire crackled, we moved closer, the tension palpable. Eventually, we found ourselves in a private corner of the cabin, the air thick with unspoken words. Mark took my hand, and together we approached Sarah and Tom, our hearts racing with anticipation. The moment felt electric, and as we began to explore this new dynamic, I realized that this experience was not just about physical connection. It was about trust, communication, and deepening our bond. As the night unfolded, we navigated the complexities of our desires, each moment filled with laughter, passion, and a sense of freedom. I felt liberated, exploring new facets of my sexuality, while knowing that Mark was right there with me, sharing in the experience. The atmosphere shifted as we moved to the bedroom, the air thick with anticipation. The four of us settled onto the large bed, the sheets cool against our warm skin. I could feel the heat radiating from Mark beside me, his presence grounding yet electrifying. Sarah and Tom were close, their laughter mingling with the soft rustle of sheets as we all found our places, the boundaries of our relationships beginning to blur. As we leaned into each other, the initial hesitations melted away, replaced by a shared sense of adventure. Mark's hand found mine, fingers intertwining as he pulled me closer, our bodies aligning in a way that felt both familiar and new. I could feel the warmth of his breath against my neck, sending shivers down my spine. Tom's voice broke through the haze, low and inviting. "Let's just enjoy this moment," he said, his gaze flickering between Sarah and me. The way he looked at us ignited something primal within me, a desire to explore the uncharted territory we had all agreed to venture into. As the night deepened, the atmosphere became charged with intimacy. Sarah leaned in, her lips brushing against my ear as she whispered, "Are you ready for this?" I nodded, my heart racing, the thrill of the unknown coursing through me. With a shared understanding, we began to explore each other, hands roaming freely, discovering new sensations and pleasures. The lines of intimacy blurred further as laughter turned into soft gasps, and the room filled with the sounds of our shared exploration. Mark's lips found mine, igniting a fire that spread through my entire being, while Sarah's touch sent waves of electricity coursing through me. In that moment, everything felt right. The boundaries we had set were not walls, but rather a framework that allowed us to explore our desires without fear. The connection between us deepened, each touch and kiss weaving a tapestry of trust and intimacy that bound us together. As the night wore on, we lost ourselves in the rhythm of our bodies, the world outside fading away. The cabin became our sanctuary, a place where we could shed our inhibitions and embrace the rawness of our desires. I felt liberated, exploring new facets of my sexuality while knowing that Mark was right there with me, sharing in the experience. When dawn broke, the first light of day filtered through the windows, casting a soft glow over the room. We lay, tangled together, limbs intertwined, a beautiful mess of bodies and emotions. The experience had transformed us, deepening our bond and opening new avenues of intimacy that we had never explored before. As we shared sleepy smiles and whispered promises, I realized that this journey into uncharted waters had not only brought us closer to Sarah and Tom, but had also strengthened the foundation of our own relationship. We had ventured into the unknown, and in doing so, we had discovered a new depth of love and connection that would forever change us. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Your support means everything to me and helps us create a space where we can share, reflect, and grow together.